Hi there. In January 2020 I bought this CLK 350 Sport. It's a 2009 model, and my only reservation with it was the fact that it had halogen lamps. Even my Mondeo, which is now 16 years old, had HIDs from the factory, and yet I was going back to halogens. I put up with it for a while, but I started to think about what could possibly be done to make it a bit better. The main issue with these is that in order to fit the factory HIDs as a retrofit, I'd need wiring looms, levelling sensors, probably some coding, and to be honest, it's a lot more hassle than it was probably worth. So I started to look around at some Projector kits, which is where we've ended up, and I'll show you the outcome. I'm not going to do a how-to video on the process of fitting it, there are enough of these on the web already, but I'll give you an overview and a bit of a narrative along the way. I started collecting up some used parts, an old headlight from a CLK of the same model, popped it in the oven for 20 minutes at 85 degrees, and that softens the glue just enough that you can remove the lens without any real trouble. A bit of fettling and the projector lamp gets fitted, then rebake, pop the lens back on. I took the car for its MOT after that, but still with its halogen lamps in it. The tester had already agreed that he would take a look at what I was planning to do, test it out and see if it met the MOT requirements. Did it? Yes, it did. So we were really pleased with that. I went out, I found another used headlamp, did the same thing, and then set them up on my garage door as per the halogen lamps. I just marked it with a bit of tape so that I could get them roughly right, and then later on, like the next day, I'll go and get the beams aligned properly. I'm actually really pleased with the overall look of these. The factory ones can look a little bit boss-eyed in my opinion. I'm not particularly keen on the look of those, and these look more like the E-Class of the same era to me, just a much nicer finish. With the beams properly aligned, we're back out in the country lanes in the dark, and you can see that beautiful sharp cut-off line from those projector units. I'm absolutely over the moon with how these have turned out. So in the dip beam, I'm running night eye H1 LEDs with CANBUS Decoders, and in the main beam we've got some super slim H7 LEDs. Of course, in the dip beam you couldn't run LED lamps with reflector units, but in the main beam that's okay. We're not going to be driving towards anybody with our full beam up, we're not going to be upsetting anyone, and we're not going to be dazzling oncoming traffic. These projectors are what they call bi-Xenon, which means they have a solenoid that will remove the cutoff. So I've wired that also to my main beam, and to give you an idea of just how powerful they are now, I'll pop the high beam up so you can see in this country lane just how much light you get from these two units. I'm really impressed with this, really impressed. For a budget modification, this has come out beautifully.